Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans of all colors, creeds, and kinds, we're just here to talk about something we're very passionate about, and that is lucha libre, pro wrestling, anything of those lines from any country that we've seen in the past. We're not talking UFC. We're definitely talking pro wrestling, lucha libre.
And not sports entertainment.
No.
Pro wrestling.
Although we will talk a lot about WWE, which is by far, the big company now.
It's the show.
It's the show. However, if you want to see a real show with unbelievable talent and non-stop action, we're not talking TNA. We're talking Lucha Underground, by far the best thing going in wrestling right now. The heart, passion, dedication, and soul of that show drives unbelievably hard. It's a small locomotive that's going to turn into an unstoppable behemoth of a tank.
Quick reminder as well, Lucha Underground premieres this Wednesday, Season 2. Don't miss it.
That's right.
El Rey Network.
El Rey Network. Go online, find out check your local cable listings. It's not to be missed, and Rey Mysterio will be back.
Oh yeah.
He's back in wrestling, and he'll be in Lucha Underground. But that aside, that obviously being said, that we love our Lucha Underground, let's get right to the undeniable hot topic, and that's after last night's Royal Rumble. The in-ring debut.
Number 3, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, as they tell him, or as they say.
As they call him, yeah.
As they call him, yeah.
P1, the phenomenal one. AJ Styles makes his appearance, and what an entrance. What an entrance. I mean, it was mind-boggling. Oh, goodness.
The theme song was new. It got a huge pop. So once on the top screen,
yeah.
phenomenal, that's when they knew. I was like, oh,
people
yes,
knew what's coming.
Yes.
And that was it.
Styles.
It was on after that. And
yeah.
Speaking of the Rumble on its own, match of the night. Owens versus Ambrose, last man standing for the IC strap. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, it wasn't as extreme and as intense as one of my personal favorite matches, which is Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. Pick your match, which one of their fights. But it was on those levels of intensity. You feel the energy, you feel the animosity, and they took it to each other. Every move got heavier and harder, and they would not stop. They would not stop.
They told quite a story. That was the match. That was quite the match of the night, and just there was a lot of humor in that match as well. I really loved what Dean Ambrose, just one shot that Owens gave him, and then he goes from one Kurt turnbuckle to the next, and then he's just like, tell me, give it to me right here, and
give me some more.
Yeah, that's what got us going.
Oh, definitely.
I was like, this is a good way to start the Rumble.
It built the tension. It built that tension immediately, and it's like, ooh, you knew they were fired up, they were ready to go. I mean, from the beginning of the bell, it was just already there, and that's what you want to see. This is like almost a culmination of a rivalry that's been going on since after TLC, or maybe Survivor Series. Is that what it was? Survivor Series, I believe, when Ambrose captured the belt.
No, it was so you said Survivor Series? No, it was TLC, I believe.
TLC, okay.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, after that, it was pretty much like where does Kevin Owens go? I still feel that Owens' reign could have been a little longer. Maybe let it run to the Rumble, and had it culminate in something like this where Ambrose takes it in an all-out fight.
Right.
But one way or another, it happened, and I like the way they're handling it.
They're bringing back prestige to the Intercontinental title, which is something that it's like really no, it wasn't really being done. Ryback was the last fucking champion.
Ryback was
and
IC
thank
champ.
God Kevin Owens.
No disrespect to Ryback, but I mean, come on, it's not what I want to see. And I am, myself, I'm unbelievably picky when it comes to.
What'd you call him?
He's Baby Goldberg.
Baby Goldberg.
Yes. Just like Apollo Crews is Baby Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
He's Baby Lashley. All right.
Baby Lashley.
Apollo Crews is a phenomenal physique. The guy can move, but as far as what I've seen on NXT, he can't go.
He just hasn't been that impressive. He's an athletic specimen, but it's just I don't know. It's just I don't really see it either. I mean, I see he has talent, but he's not really that phenomenal or something that can really grab you if you watch.
Most importantly, what we can say is, and one thing you really got to look towards when you're looking at talent and what they can do and whether they can really go is, can they carry a match? And so far, when Apollo Crews is in there against somebody he just whoops on, somebody he just runs over, like a little squash match, he doesn't really seem to. I mean, I guess he's carrying it because there's no option but for his opponent to get beat up. But it always seems like somebody else is by far making the match a lot better, a lot more entertaining than Crews. even against the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, last week on NXT TakeOver. I'm sorry, the NXT, the Wednesday night show. He carried that match. He looked really good. Yet Apollo got the victory. First time I saw this, that was when he fought Tyler Breeze. I had to take over during the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
And you just didn't see it. And you just did not see it.
Breeze won me over just because little by little, as silly as his character is, he owns it and it's hilarious. It works for him.
And he does have a crowd too.
And he has some fan base. People love it. NXT crowd loved him. Apollo Crews lost. Ended up beating him in what clearly was a Breeze match. He should have had that match. Could have moved Breeze into another level, but they're trying to push Crews, and Crews took it. And what was more like a lackluster performance on his side.
The match, what really, I look back to their match to his match with Baron Corbin in NXT TakeOver London.
Oh, goodness.
That was kind of like,
that was a very boring match.
That kind of hurt the pay-per-view, to be clear.
It did. And which is unfortunate because Corbin actually has had good matches. He's had better matches with
Joe in Brooklyn. His match with Joe.
He's had better matches. He's had better matches than Crews has had.
Yes.
Even Baron Corbin teaming up with Rhino going against Gable and Jordan.
Oh yeah.
At a Dusty Rhodes Classic, Invitational Classic.
Tag Team Classic.
What a match! But then again, that Gable and Jordan carried most of that bout. For anybody who hasn't seen Gable and Jordan on NXT, $9.99 a month is definitely worth it just for one show a week of 1 hour a week of NXT is definitely worth the pennies. You know what I mean? I would definitely pay $250 a week to see NXT.
Would you like to add an extra half hour to it, or do you think it's fine with just an hour? Do you think that's enough for a solid wrestling show of NXT, or you want to try and extend it more?
An hour, I would love to see 2 hours a week, but
that's
fair. If you think about it, your regular NXT show is about 4 hours, and the Raw show, when you go to it live, 4 hours. They only show 1 hour of it. Chances are we're missing out on some other really good wrestling, and maybe get to see a little more variety in the talent.
Right.
1 hour a week, who knows? Maybe that's all they're budgeted for. Maybe they just don't want to feed us too much at once. The roster isn't unbelievably massive either, but it is getting bigger. There's only certain stars they do almost want to seem to push, and they want you to see at a time.
It's gonna grow.
It will grow. And we've seen a lot of people come and go. But I don't know what else. What else is there? Let me see. NXT though overall is in great shape.
The newest edition of Austin Aries was definitely
was unbelievable news.
Man, who can I tell? The talent that they have there. Obviously Joe. Ty Dillinger. He's solid. He's solid.
He's okay.
He's okay.
That's the whole thing. Ty Dillinger is very, very. What's the word I give it all the time? He's kind of a default wrestler. He's a template wrestler.
Right.
He's very basic, but there's certain charisma. The 10. The crowd loves it.
Yeah.
They got on it right away. And it's his. Nobody else tries to use it anywhere else. It's just his, and he owns that. He is a perfect 10. Ty Dillinger.
And here you were thinking that they're gonna put AJ first on NXT, even after his appearance in his debut.
They would have honestly put him on NXT.
But no, they're putting him in the main. They're already having him in the main roster. He already
debuted
on Raw.
He already wrestled Jericho tonight in a decent bout.
Right.
For a first match, it was a lot of fun. It was very enjoyable. Jericho.
They're saving it.
Oh,
they're saving.
They're saving the best. They're saving the best.
But what I liked out of AJ was very hard hitting, very stiff, like you said. It's like
he's always been very intense in the ring. He's always very fast. He's always hit hard. But
it was his first couple years being out in Japan and Japan Pro Wrestling.
He looked solid.
Yeah.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, any kind of Japanese wrestling, the style is so different. Perfect example right now, living in the NXT universe is Asuka.
Ooh.
Let's talk about Asuka. I think every diva.
That's my bitch right there.
And female wrestler. We're talking about women's championship wrestling.
She just brings an absolute
wrestling.
Technical ability from Japan that she just was able to establish, and it's just like bring it over to NXT, and that the rest of the girls even know it. They can
see it. There's a certain fear in their eye.
Fuck that.
You look at Asuka.
I want to see
just intense. Not only that, but she's unbelievably technically sound.
I want to see her with Bailey, but you know, I think they're gonna have her first with Nia Jax.
Ooh, sure. I want to see her pick Nia Jax apart piece by piece.
I'm very curious to see how that's gonna happen.
And unfortunately, I want to see Nia Jax be able to do more. You're representing the Samoan dynasty. Give me something.
Yeah, but that's like she's still developing, and she's a big ass girl.
Oh, she is.
You know, she is a big ass.
Huh? She's a big lady.
She is a big lady.
But you know what?
She's a big lady.
But she's a big lady. But yes, she belongs in the world of wrestling.
Yes.
You know, we come in all shapes and sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were listening to the one podcast earlier with Stone Cold.
It was Austin, and they were
discussing wrestlers and sizes.
They were discussing Samoa Joe.
They were discussing Joe. And they go, we want him to be in shape. Well, you know what? That's how Joe is in shape.
Mm-hmm.
He's healthy. He's just a big guy. The man is Samoan.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Owens.
He's not like
great shape.
Yes.
Big pot belly. I love it.
But he can still go, and he's just like his match with Ambrose. That was a match of the night. Both of those guys just beat the living crap out of each other. Yeah.
And although I still felt personally that it should have been Ambrose's night. He should have thrown Triple H out and become champion. They've got their own plans. You know, a fan can dream. But can you imagine that? That would have established Owens as Ambrose as just the man.
Yeah.
I think that really would have helped just escalate him to this other level that people want to see him go. They want to see him get to. Sure, take your time. Take your time. But right now, I think you're out of options in the world title picture. I'm sorry. I don't even want to discuss it, but Roman Reigns? Come on.
We'll eventually get to that topic, but for right now, let's stay with Owens. I don't know. I think when he came in the Rumble, he was limping, but he still got in there. You know, he eliminated a couple people. But then when Ambrose got in there, who was it first? Was it Sami Zayn that came in first, or was it Ambrose?
I believe it was Ambrose.
Yes,
and then Sami Zayn came in. and It's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, but still, like I believe they're still gonna continue that feud with Owens and Ambrose because it looks like they were the ones that came toward each other. They were the first like to confront each other in that Rumble.
Oh yeah, because they had literally just fought tooth and nail.
But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is one that I've been wanting to see coming. I mean, because man, that was a hell of a feud that should have
a very short feud.
Very short.
Sami Zayn got injured. For anybody who hasn't seen that NXT Takeover, was it Arrival, I believe, or a Revival, whatever it was. It was one of the ones from the first actual NXT Takeover for the year of 2015, in which Kevin Owens, who had only been there no more than a month, just annihilated his best buddy. Just beat him up.
He turned instantly. He turned heel after his first night, his debut on that pay-per-view, and then he just waited for everybody to go.
Waited for his moment, or just
that's
destroy Zayn.
Or that's how they had it, pretty much.
It's a great setup. Yeah, it was a great setup.
It was. And do you think anybody saw that coming in that audience when they at the
I don't think
University?
So. It's like, all right, you see two guys. One's your champion who's been fighting to get there.
Yeah.
His best friend who's only been there a very short minute. Sitting there congratulating him after he won his title. Then he just annihilates him, just turns his back on him, and just like, oh really? Literally. Who do you think you are? And that's been Kevin Owens' character's attitude ever since. You know, he's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites right now. In the NXT WWE universe, he's probably in my top 5 list. Definitely has to be.
What was it called? The neck breaker that he gave Owens on
it's almost like a fisherman, a swinging, because on the top rope it's a swinging fisherman neck breaker.
That was
onto a table. I mean, it was beautifully hit.
Beautifully done. That won the crowd.
Oh goodness! What
the crowd chanting "Fight Owens, fight Owens, fight!"
Yeah,
hell with it.
To hear the crowd, there was like some crowd pushing for Owens, and it was just like people just wanted to. I didn't want the match to end.
Me either.
I didn't want the match to
end.
But
it was a good lengthy
20 minutes.
Good lengthy 20-minute match. That meets the expectations right
there.
It
definitely does. It definitely does.
But after, what was the second match? What was the second match of that?
Okay, let's go to the U.S. title. Alberto El Patron versus Alberto Del Rio in WWE versus Kalisto. Kalisto is a great superstar. He was obviously the better of the talent in the Lucha Dragons. No disrespect to Sin Cara, but Kalisto just had something else. You know, seeing him go, just the way he moves, the things he does, his ability, it works. I was waiting for him to get something pushed on his own. Now that he's on his own, it's not bad, but there's still a few hiccups. Still a few hiccups.
There was a few hiccups in the match that he had with Del Rio, but I still like the match.
I think what he has to do is he has to understand how to do. He's got to develop his pace with other wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to just the fast moving stuff, fast tagging. He's got to get used to fighting all individual matches first of all, one-on-one matches, because tag matches, it is a very different line you're walking. I mean, you've heard different wrestlers talk about it, different legends talk about it. Tag matches and a singles match, completely different. I mean, it's a total mindset you have to have going into your match. And on his own, he's doing fine, but there's still a piece missing.
Yeah, well, Sin Cara's injury probably is what made them decide to just give him at least
give him a chance. Give him
against
a chance.
Del Rio too. It's like two.
It's somewhat of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
You have two luchadores going there.
Yeah.
As far as Del Rio or El Patron on his own, that man is a superstar. You won't see it on WWE. Turn on Lucha Underground Season 1. Go on YouTube, Lucha Underground, Alberto El Patron. Look him up. Any match, pick one. You're going to see something else. Look up Alberto El Patron AAA Lucha Libre in Mexico. He is the man out there.
He is a pimp out of Mexico. He's a face in Lucha Underground just by him.
His presence.
There you go.
His presence is just so intense.
In WWE, however, though, he was not able to.
The crowd doesn't know him, and he's a different character there. He's a different character there.
He was a much better heel than he was a face. He was booed as a face. Yeah. Like when he, I remember, I forgot which pay-per-view it was, but it was Del Rio who held on to the title, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out to cash in his Money in the Bank, and then the crowd just went, and Ziggler was a heel at that time. But they were just tired of Del Rio and his face. It just wasn't working, I guess. So I guess that's when Ziggler's music hit, the crowd fucking just popped and shit, and because they knew the title change was gonna happen, most likely. But but everywhere else, he's El Patron, he's a fucking...
He's the man. He's the boss.
He's the man, yeah. However, that hasn't necessarily been the case with WWE. It's just it's different. It's much different.
Although we must say that his return at was it Survivor Series? That was Survivor Series, no? That was Cena's last pay-per-view.
Was it? It was, I don't know exactly.
That's when he lost the belt and he took his time. Alberto El Patron came in and just it was awesome. He had a few C chants in the crowd, you know what I mean? But just that match, and it only that, but it was a very short match.
It was quick and sweet.
Quick, sweet match. Just kicked Cena in the side of his face, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. Title change. But hey, I liked it. If Cena doesn't ever come back, I mean, if he doesn't come back, that's one thing. I got to say, like I said, Cena's not one of my favorites at all. But I got a lot of respect for the guy. He's got the work ethic. He's putting his time. Yeah, maybe it is time for him to just hang up his boots.
Well, I mean, he's been a very polarized figure he's the most polarized. He's the most polarized superstar at this point. It's
and
like,
it definitely seems that way.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's others, but who else takes up that mantle?
Who
gets that reaction?
From
who gets that reaction? Yeah, who gets that reaction?
It's like they purposely cheer or purposely boo him. Like, you have to do one or the other. You can't just sit around like you do for Roman Reigns. Like, if Reigns come out, I'm just gonna sit there and go buy myself popcorn, maybe grab a beer so I can try to enjoy the punches and spears that he's throwing at people.
Oh my God, Reigns!
Superman punch! You gotta be kidding me!
You're just not impressed by that, are you?
Why would he have to call it the Superman punch? A Roman Superman?
I don't know. He's just
why Superman? Let's get into it.
I was asking you this. Does the crowd really not like Roman Reigns, or is it just the fact that, the wrestling universe, WWE universe, or let's call it, they just don't. They notice that he's just Vince McMahon is pushing him down people's throats in a way. Let's be real here.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's like.
I understand, he's got that amazing look, but he still needs...
He has a look. Roman Reigns has a look.
Yes.
But I think it's a face for TV, it's a face for movies, but talent-wise, I mean, he can go in the ring, he has stamina. We know he can last a while, although he was out of half the Rumble.
He was out of almost the entire Rumble, and he came in right when Sheamus
throughout
came
the rest of the match, he's just sitting in the corner. He wasn't as impressive as well. I mean, for lack of a better name, let's say Chris Benoit. And then Royal Rumble 2004, first entrant into the match. He was in the match, and he won the match. I mean,
what entry was he?
Won.
Oh, yeah.
He was the
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, work hard for it. You know what I mean? I think JR said it best in one of the last Legends of Wrestling I saw, which was the episode about Raw, and how he says he sees a lot of the youngsters today, and some of them just aren't reaching for that, the brass ring. They're just not. Maybe I don't know if they're afraid. He said it in different ones. He doesn't know if they're scared to like maybe try to do more than what they're told. But it's more like maybe be a little outgoing, which is what I see Ambrose doing almost in a way. I definitely see him almost fighting to want to do something else.
Ambrose is.
I really don't think WWE is making him that way.
It
just doesn't seem like it seems kind of natural. But it seems a bit more natural.
But I like the fact that he's Intercontinental Champion right now.
Oh, definitely.
It's sort of like a step. According, it's a stepping stone towards the heavyweight championship.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And Reigns and Rollins, even Rollins. I mean,
Rollins has a great in-ring ability. He can go. He plays a great heel. I mean, I want to say amazing, but he's a good dick.
But have you seen guys like that before?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's nothing new. I mean,
I like.
Also, as far as his ability, he's solid, but I've seen better.
I will say though, his matches. Even you watched him. His matches against Ambrose and Money in the Bank was brutal.
Good.
His Hell in a Cell match. Yeah.
What a fight.
Like that was one really good feud that Dean Ambrose was involved in. His feud with Bray Wyatt was another. You know, have you seen any of those matches? No. Oh, you got us. TLC 2014, I believe. That was a pretty brutal match that Bray Wyatt ended up winning.
When it came to the WWE Universe, I stopped watching a long time ago, right about the time CM Punk arrived. I know CM Punk, everybody likes him, which is cool. Hey, it's all good. But you know what? I just wasn't impressed when he first came in. I watched a bit, kind of saw what he was starting to get over. The crowd starting to love him and everything. I'm like, okay, but I didn't get it. That's just me though. That's just me. But during that time, I mean, lucha libre, AAA. And
that's what you were all about.
I was all about that at that time. And then eventually I got into, around 2008, I got into TNA. TNA was in a completely different state than it is now. I mean, TNA you had the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, because he couldn't use the name Dudley, was super solid. You had the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, the X Division was still at its ending peak, but it was an amazing division at that point.
As far as the X Division is concerned, we can go back to even the beginnings of 2002 when AJ Styles became the first.
That's a show for another time when we focused on nothing but the X Division because there's so much history there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of just touching on all the recent topics, getting into what's been going on this year in wrestling, and now we're at 2016. It's
a whole new year for WWE, and
so far we can honestly say this is a way better Royal Rumble match
than the last two.
Has been in the last 2 years.
The last two was just one of the. The last two was just one of the worst simply for the fact that nobody was happy.
It didn't end in absolute booze. And just the worst crowd reaction ever. It did not.
Batista won the Rumble in the 2 years prior, and nobody wanted him to win it. They literally did not give a damn. They were still booed.
When your number 30 entrant is the super babyface Rey Mysterio, and people just boo him out of the arena. I mean, it was just wow. Everybody expected Daniel Bryan to be in it, but he wasn't. He was not in it.
Yeah. And then WWE paid the price for it with the crowd chanting Daniel Bryan and just. Even chanting CM Punk on certain points too, just to make
their point.
Yeah, make their point. Yeah.
As fans, we all want to make our
stupid.
point.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's like we already seen how Vince McMahon is pushing Reigns and whatnot. I understand. Yeah, and then Vince is kind of I don't know. I would like to have a conversation with Vince one day, but I don't know that's not gonna happen. Who the fuck am I to say? But just
no. I think I'm sure he'll spoon feed you some stuff. I don't think he'd be honest with just his average fans. Hey kid, you know what? That's wrestling. Thanks for the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in the end, will you stop watching? No.
No.
You know what I
Because
mean?
it's wrestling, you know.
It's
It's
wrestling.
what you love. You know?
The thing that's unfortunate is that that's what's going on. You have these crowds and arenas full of people who are just going to pay just to go. Either their kids really love it and they're taking them, or they're just, are people just going just for the sake of going? And just, I mean, the crowds in 2015 overall were pretty much lackluster. You know what I mean? The crowds aren't blowing up. Where's the pops for all these wrestlers that we all really enjoy?
It's the fact, I think it's, I don't know.
Are people just kind of bored and you're just dealing with it, just paying into it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I pay my monthly $9.99 and I don't mind it because I love going back and watching ECW and WCW history.
Of course.
Even though WCW fell apart horribly, there was so much incredible history there.
Of course.
So many great matches, so much talent, so many veterans. That just, I mean, come on, Rhodes, baby, Rhodes. But you know, with that being said, I mean, you can't go wrong. You know, what you gotta watch first. So we're starting with this new year where we're getting ready, we're getting hyped up about Lucha Underground. That's gonna be unbelievable. I mean, it's almost like, and you have your expectation levels for season 2. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get met and probably exceeded to a degree that we're not even ready for.
You see Johnny Mundo in season 2. I'm curious to see I'm curious to see who he feuds with.
Where he goes, yeah.
You know, if they have him if they have him with Prince Puma, awesome. Either or.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Honestly, Puma will have to. He'll have to come and demand at least a rematch.
Oh, absolutely.
Mil Muertes. I mean, that bout he had in Ultima Lucha was phenomenal. Even for Mil Muertes being a big, beefy man, I mean, he was in the match of his life. I mean, that was a match. I mean, the guy personally that I'm looking forward to is Mr. Cero Miedo, Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr. is a force to be reckoned with. And now that Vampiro's, revealed to be his master, his teacher, I mean, he's going to be unstoppable.
There's one more. There's one more particular. He's your favorite. We call him called Drago.
Oh, Drago. Drago's unbelievable. I'm curious about what they're going to do with him. What about Phoenix? The undeniable Phoenix.
Phoenix? Ooh.
I mean, goodness.
Man, I can't wait to see what after his casket match that I saw
against
Mil
Muertes,
that was a casket match
and a half. I mean, bloody match, but a technical match, a good fight, and an aerial match. I mean,
prior to that, and prior to the stipulation, was there any other casket match that impressed you? Didn't matter if it was in WWE or anywhere else. Just
casket matches period never really interested me because it's basically just a wrestling match, and in the end, you don't pin them, you roll them into a casket.
But somehow they managed to just utilize a casket.
They utilized that ever-living hell of that casket. They stood on it, walked on it. However, the second they were DDT'd or suplexed on it, the thing gave. So there was definitely impact in that match. There was so much impact.
Oh, didn't he belly suplex Phoenix
right into the casket and dented the hell out of it.
Just the impact of that is just like, my God, that is just it's believable. Yeah, I mean, that's what made it so impressive to me.
And that match alone was just, it exceeded any expectation of any casket match you could even think to fathom. But, I mean, like I said, check it out for yourself. Lucha Underground. YouTube it. Any match will do. Just watch. It's the best. It's the best thing around. Unless you like something more simple. Everybody has different tastes.
Real quick. Which feud would you recommend the general public here for them to go into as far as, what they want to see out of Lucha Underground? If you guys are willing to consider watching it.
If just to consider it. I would say not even a feud. Just go to YouTube, look up Lucha Underground Aztec Warfare. Watch that match. You will see most of their talent roster, which their talent roster does come and go because unlike other, the federations or other companies, they're seasonal. They're a seasonal show. They'll exist for a little while, film a bunch of shows, air it over the span of several months. And they get to move on. They'll go back to Mexico. They'll go back to Japan. These guys are not tied down to one company. But they want to continue to evolve, continue to learn, showcase everywhere.
At the same time, I feel Lucha Underground is going to be growing, especially with what.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable.
Is it? Where's it based? It's
based out of LA.
LA. That's. Whew.
The potential for it to grow is it's there. It's just a baby. It's a seedling that's vastly growing. It's growing out of control.
Apparently, they Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Apparently, it said on the wrestling news on the Facebook that the executive producer of Lucha Underground claimed that WWE tried to sign all their talents, signed their main roster apparently, but that I guess it didn't work out to WWE's favor, I guess, or something like that.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Also on pro wrestling news, you find out that Angelico and Jack Evans were offered contracts through WWE, and they, they both respectfully declined, saying they wanted to ride out Lucha Underground as far as it'll go, because obviously they want to continue to move around. AAA, it's a big place to go. Mexico has a variety.
They want to keep going. They want to keep going overseas.
Definitely.
Not just Mexico, but Japan or elsewhere.
Once you're tied into WWE, you're tied into WWE on a contract. You're not allowed to free range.
That's 250 to 300, days a year, like no off season right there.
Right. And I'm pretty sure they like a little time to themselves.
Yeah. That's the. But hey, either or. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Lucha Underground.
Whether it's a short time a year or every week, it's just what it brings is just action packed.
Yes. No. And the Royal Rumble, I'll say it was better than better than the last two. Hopefully this year will be a much
brighter year for WWE.
Yes, a much brighter year where they can get back on track as opposed to how last year was. Last year was just
very choppy.
Yes.
Very choppy.
Yes.
And let's actually end this on a very positive note. Sting getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Is that right?
My childhood hero of mine, Sting. He might not have won at WrestleMania 31, but he had his moment. Now he's being inducted. So
all it took was one moment because his history is undeniable.
One WrestleMania
what he's done
moment,
is undeniable.
And he didn't necessarily need WWE.
No, he didn't.
So kudos, congrats to him. And. Let's see who gets inducted next.
I'm looking forward to 2016.
Looking
forward to 2016. Let's do this.
Let's see what wrestling brings to 2016. Hopefully it'll be a good year.
Oh, well, with that being said, I'm Ed Perdido, Ernie P.
I'm Antonio.
And that's what it is.